Hi. Ugh. So, so when I was like, I like to walk around the city. I take a walk often, and since it's fall, so like leaves are falling, and I don't know why, but I thought of this. I took a memo. Tree, they are willing to let go all the beautiful leaves they grow, and these leaves will be fermented later on, and it will be nutrition for the tree to grow even bigger and greater in the future. It's like humans who are willing to let go what they have to grow even better and bigger in the future. We can learn so many things from the mother nature. We hold on to things which give us comfort, and the longer you've been holding on to, the harder it gets to let it go. It almost feels like if we let go of these things, we lose it. On the surface level, it looks like that. It is like that, but it will not be visible to us, but it turns into blessings for us to bloom later in our lives. That's what I thought. I like to walk in nature. Like, who doesn't? I don't know, but I like it. And you know, like leaves are falling. Fallen leaves are everywhere, and I was like, yeah, like that. Detachment. Why did I heard detachment? Letting things go or detachment is kind of like similar thing. They are willing to let go all the beautiful leaves they grow. Yeah. So when we are holding on to things which give us comfort, like I said in the memo, the longer we've been holding on to that thing, the harder it gets to let it go. We have energetically storage, and when we hold on to something or someone, we consume our energy on that. But our energy is not like limitless. There's limitation. So we ran out. Most of the time our storage is full of things energetically. Like, we have so many things to hold on to. So in our lives, in our comfort zone, that's why we energetically, our storage is always full. But when we want next thing to happen, or when we want to change something, or when we want to looking for new things, like life seems like falling apart, right? Like everything is starting to fall apart. Like that's what I felt. That's what I am feeling actually right now. Every part of my life started to crumble, like collapse. All started falling apart. And I was so sad, and I was so shocked, and I was so upset, and I was, so many emotions I went through because of that. And I was so lost in my life, and I don't know why it happened. Because I didn't ask for it. I just asked for new thing to come into my life. But instead, so many things started to collapse. And I was so lost. I just said it. Yeah, and then I was like, why? Why is this happening to me again? Life has always like been hard and dark and heavy for the entire time. So I was like, why? So again, this hard things is happening to me again. Why is it happening to me again? Why? I was always asking why. But letting things go is kind of like welcoming something new into your life. And also I remember this video I watched before. I don't know why, but it came through, so maybe it has something to do with that topic. But so I'll just say it. But you know, I I don't remember exactly, but it was kind of like this guy was talking about like when you want nothing, that's when you attract. When you want nothing, that's when you attract things the most. Because it's kind of like you're freeing your space, freeing up your energetic storage space, inner storage. So, but when I first time heard that, like, you know, when you want nothing, you attract things the most. I was like, doesn't make any sense. Why? I was like, why? Yeah. Like, you know, wanting something, looking for something, desiring something, it's not a bad thing. And everyone has it. You know, and I have it too. Desires and goals and achievements to want to make. When we are wanting or desiring something, we are constantly thinking about it. Most of the time we like make up scenario in our heads, like when, what, how it happens, right? So that means it also consuming a lot of our energies, and we, you know, get sad or upset over these things because, you know, external things we don't get to control, and we cannot even expect what's gonna happen tomorrow, right? So, you know, we get upset, we get like negative over the fact that things are not happening in your way, when you want it to happen, what you want it to happen, and how you want it to happen. But it's not how it works. So, but we always thinking about that when we are in the state of like desiring or wanting. So like wanting nothing is kind of like freeing up that energy we consume when desiring or looking for, or, you know, wanting something. So it gets easier to come into our lives because there's enough storage. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So when you want nothing, you attract the most. I was like, oh, now that I think about it, it kind of makes sense. So what? So we find comfort to that person or that thing. So you letting go of these things, that means you are like kind of like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And we naturally don't want to do it because it's kind of like come with the pain. So, and we seek pleasure and avoid pain. So it's natural that we don't want to let go of things easily, like detachment from something easily, because, you know, it's kind of protection, it's kind of like survival instinct. So I get that, and it's valid, and I do that a lot honestly. But now I feel like I am in the season of my life I need to let go of certain things which no longer in resonance to my vibrational frequency. Does that make sense? It doesn't have to be a physical thing, but also like kind of like thoughts or perception, way of thinking, or, you know, anything. It could be anything, whatever it is. If you already know letting things go is welcoming something new into your life, and collapsing feels like, you know, your life is falling apart, and so many areas in your life are collapsing, but that means also that is kind of like preparation phase for you to welcome something big, new, new and big into your life, then you wouldn't be scared to actually let something go or detach from something, right? So I'm just here to tell you or remind you that letting things go is when it welcomes something new into your life. And the bigger the thing you are letting go of, the bigger you are welcoming. You will welcome thing later. Did that make sense? It didn't make any sense in my head. I don't know. My brain is not working. I don't know. I'm not even tired, but it's not working. So, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Letting go of something is kind of like scary thing. And it's not easy. But that means also you are welcoming something new into your life. Kind of like exchange, because our storage energetically is limited. Our energy is limited. So yeah, we can't just keep welcoming something new into our lives, because there's limit to our storage and our energy. So yeah, it is scary thing, but I thought like tree is kind of like does that naturally, right? They are willing to let go of these things, like leaves. They grew beautifully from spring to summer, then they will just let it go. And yeah, leaves will be fermented later on, and it will become nutrition to that's what I wanted to talk about also. Whatever you let go of, but on the surface level, it will be gone. It feels like you lost it, right? Yeah, on surface level, it is like that. But what is happening under the surface is actually, it is turning into blessings. It is turning into gift for you to, grow bigger, grow greater, grow better, so many good things later on. So that's what I thought when I looked at tree. And how beautiful is that? Because they are like doing it naturally, but we tend to hold on to things. It's not like I'm saying it is bad, because it's natural. It's our survival instinct, so it's normal. But in this life, it kind of like required to let something go. If you want something new, or if you want to change something in your life, then you have to let something go to get it, because your energetic space, your storage, your energy is limited. So trees are doing it beautifully, naturally, effortlessly. So I thought, how beautiful is that? And nature always teaches us so many valuable lessons. So I thought, yeah, on surface level, we think we lost it. But in reality, it's actually turning into blessings or gifts for you. And that will come into your life as new things or something you want, or beautiful things. It will turn into something beautiful and come back to you in different shape, in different form. How beautiful is that? That's what I thought. So yeah, letting things go, it's not easy. Detachment from something, it's not easy, but it is a blessing in disguise. And that's pretty much it, what I wanted to talk about. So how beautiful is that? And we get to experience so many emotions. Sometimes I hate that I'm human, but sometimes I feel awesome that I'm human. Life is up and down, and life gets hard sometimes, but just go easy on you and take it easy. Just go with the flow, and don't run away from your emotions, your pain in your life. But when it gets too much, and when you are feeling too much, then run away. It's not running away, it's just protecting yourself. I was watching this video, one YouTuber from Japan, there's like favorite YouTuber from Japan, and she was talking about life, and you know, she said sometimes people talk about like you existing here is good enough, and it itself is awesome thing, but I don't think so, and it will be easier to live if it was like that. That's what she said. But I think I am on the side of who are talking about that. So I was like, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, don't even care what others think about it, or you know, think about you. Maybe, you know, people around you think that action or this action you took for yourself, they consider it as like running away from something or running away. But they don't know you. They don't know what is happening behind the closed door, and they don't even know what you're going through. They don't even know fully what you think daily, or you know, your perspective, your perception, you know, what you went through as a kid, or you know, nobody knows except you. So maybe people around you say something about it, or you know, maybe you are kind of like sensitive person who kind of thinking about, if I do this, then people would find me this or think that I'm this or that. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this is your life. You're the main character. So how you feel, what you want to do, like your perspective, your perception, your thoughts, what you are thinking matters in your life. So I don't force you to think in certain ways, but I'm just suggesting, like at the end of the day, what you believe matters. So there's so many way of thinkings, there's so many perspectives, there's so many, like, you know, there's so many things, but at the end of the day, you're like, how you feel toward these things is the answer. If you feel good, if you feel like resonated, then that's for you. But if you don't feel like it, if you don't resonate with these, then it's not for you. Like, it's that simple. So if you think, like, you know, taking breaks from something, for example, is necessary for yourself because you're feeling too much, you've been experiencing too much, then you should do it. Don't even care what others think about it or say about it or tell you about it. F it. Don't care. Like, they don't know you. They don't even know you. And nobody does. Even your parents. Like, you know, just because you're like close with someone, family, related to blood, or you know, whatever the situation is, but that doesn't mean they know everything about you. It feels like it, but no, not true. Only you know everything about yourself, because you know, you experienced, and you know what you feel, what you think, what you like comprehend, conceive. I don't know why I'm saying that, but you know, I just heard it. So yeah, at the end of the day, what you feel, what you think is important and matters in your life. So why am I even talking about that? But maybe it was off topic, but maybe someone needed to hear this. But yeah, just live your life. You matter. You matter the most in your life. So, but honestly, living your life is like, you know, it's easier said than done. You know, it's easy to say, just live your life. Don't care what others think about you. You know, it's easier said than done, but you know, it's your decision at the end of the day. So yeah, I just here to remind you that you matter the most in your life. And you know, from tree I learned, you know, letting things go, easily letting things go, that means you are effortlessly attracting new things into your life. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and I genuinely hope, I'm not just saying this, I am praying for it. I am praying, like I mean it. I literally mean it, but I genuinely hope you have wonderful, magical, mystical morning, nighttime, lunchtime, weekend, whenever you're watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Talk to you soon.